And chilly. It's supposed to snow tonight.
Mm. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Welcome to my double header. Why don't you drop your city and state in the chat? Because I know you're looking for funding for your business as we go in 2022. The number one question I get is, Erica, how can I get money to start my business? How can I get money to run my business? How can I get money to keep my business going? Now, look, we've done tons of videos, but I know you need some step by step help here. So if you could go ahead and guys hop into the chat, drop your city and state in the chat, and Miss Cheree, introduce yourself to the audience because I love your little handle there, writemybusinessplan.com.
Yes, yes. Hey, everybody. I am Cheree. I am a longtime classy climber from the DC area. Um, I have been writing business plans for about 11 years now, about 8 years full time. And last year, early part of last year, I was approached to also help people with other ways of getting funding, other alternative funding
Mhm.
opportunities. And I got a big announcement tonight. You all are the first, like, publicly hearing this. So I think y'all are going to be excited, and I'm looking for some feedback as well when I drop that announcement. So shout out to the Rise of the 20% and the Digital Real Estate Group, because of those two classes, this is part of the announcement.
Okay, you guys. So listen, I see, look, people in here, Columbus, Georgia, Atlanta, VA, Raleigh, Baltimore. She said it's gonna snow in DC. Y'all get your coats on. I'm getting a
Yeah.
new pea coat, a tan one, the long kind. And I'm gonna have like a black, not the turtleneck, just the black and black jeans. I'm gonna take photos when I go to Chicago see my grandpa. Because he be dressing. He be making us feel like bums. But there's a few restaurants I want to take him to that are very classy. So I'm gonna be out here stunting in the cold weather.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
what are some of the things that you find? I mean, I know you get these questions all the time.
Mhm.
Sure, I need business money. I need business money. What are some of the things you see out here that are like people's biggest struggles in getting funding?
Um, so one of the things is people just not understanding, like, the basics of funding.
Hmm.
They hear number one question I get is, how can I get these grants, right? Sheree, I'm gonna get a grant,
Let's
right?
go say it. Get the grants.
Getting the grant. And it's like, well, what kind of business do you have? And it's like not always like a
Grant
big
friendly.
grant type of business. So
Hmm.
one of the things I spend my time doing is just educating people
Hmm.
on, like, figuring out, like, what kind of business that they're going to have, and really educating them on what's most likely the type of
Hmm.
funding that they would get and get approved for.
Setting the
Um,
expectation, setting the tone.
yes,
Like,
set
don't
an
get
expectation.
crazy.
Yes. The other thing, that's a common misconception is people think they can walk up to the SBA and ask for a loan and get a loan. Don't laugh, Erica. It's a
Sorry,
common
I'm sorry.
misconception. No,
I
it's a
apologize.
common misconception. Actually, the SBA does not give out any loans
Hmm.
directly.
Hmm. Let
What you
them
have to do
know.
is you have to go to a bank that is an SBA lender. They approve your loan, and then they go to the SBA for something called an SBA guarantee. Um, the third thing is, people think that if they have bad credit, that that all is lost for them, or people get super, like, excited, even though they don't necessarily have the best credit, that they think they can get all sorts of funding, and there's, like, special funding for credit challenged, is what I will
Hmm. I
call
love
that.
that. Credit challenged.
Yeah,
Mhm,
yeah. So we're
mhm.
gonna break it all down tonight. So yeah, so I've got about, I don't know, 12 or so, slides to share, but they'll be, like, lickety split,
Mhm.
kinda going through. So if
Go
you
ahead and
just
take
want me
over the
to
screen. Did it let you?
yeah, it should let me. I tested it before.
Let me know.
Uh, so you can let me know now if you see my screen.
You guys put a one in the comments if you can see the screen. Hold on, I'm gonna add it. Boom, baby. Who is that lady right there? Give it to
Yeah.
y'all. I just saw her in DC. So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, y'all saw me in DC if you were at the Classy Climb event,
Classic
so
Climb
I was in the
Tour.
house.
Listen, this is this year, 2022 is the big closeout for Classic Climb Tour in Houston and Classic Climb Boat Party. So don't miss out because we're taking some breaks after that. So but yes, everybody, they can see your screen. They're dropping with the one. So Sherry gonna come and
Perfect,
give us some
perfect.
business funding talk on that one.
Yes, yes. So what I'm going to do is just share some programs that are available for people.
Mhm.
And, the question you may have is, how do you get funding if you're a startup? How do you get money if you're growing a business? How do you get money if you're buying a business? I'm a
Mm.
super huge fan of buying businesses because
Mhm.
80% of startups fail,
Yeah.
but 80% of people who buy a business have a continuing successful business.
Wait, wait,
They
wait. Say
do.
that again. Slow down.
Oh, okay.
80% of startups fail, but
If you buy a business, you have 80% chance of success. So 80% of the businesses that are purchased
Mhm.
end up being successful or continuing to be successful.
I like it. I like it.
And one of the people who solidified that for me was a banker. It was an
Mhm.
SBA banker. They would much rather you come in buying a business than starting one.
Because it has that track record. It has a system you're following.
Yep. And
Mm.
recently, I spoke with a company that is doing junk removal to African American gentlemen down in Florida. Shout out to them if they're listening right now.
Florida.
And they told me that they were talking with an older gentleman about his business and about, the fact that he was going to close his business down. He had been successful for a couple of decades in that business. And I said, don't do that. Ask him to buy his business because then you can get his track record of 20
Mhm.
plus years and you can get these government contracts that you're looking for with a 20 plus year track record, and instead of being a subcontractor trying to claw and scratch your way as a startup, you could be a prime contractor. So these are the
Bing,
types of conversations
bing,
I
bing.
have with people.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Because you just y'all, if you just got on the show, she done told you what the plug is, already pre-established businesses with a track record. And two, you guys are always worried about government contracts. Well, you want to get the top line, you want to be a front of the line. This is part of how it's done. But go ahead, go
Yeah.
ahead.
So some of y'all are interested in buying these trucks and this equipment. There's opportunities for you. I have an opportunity, a connect, I'll just call it, with regards to people who want to fix and flip real estate. If by chance you're growing the billion-dollar unicorn business, then I will talk to you
Mhm.
tonight. Y'all killing me with these business grants, but I got an
Sorry.
announcement
Sorry.
about the business grants, y'all. I got an
Mhm.
announcement about the business grants, so hang on with regards to that. And of course, making money moves fast in 2022. So, all right. So, the other thing you're asking is how do you get funding if you're a new business? Um, if you have no business experience, you've got bad credit, no collateral, bankruptcies, and no friends. I teased all of you last time I was
Sorry.
on Erica's channel. I said, pick a struggle. You cannot have all of these as a struggle. You know, in the words of Erica,
Excuse
you
me.
can't be fat and bald and broke.
And broke all of it. You can't
You
pick a
you
struggle,
gotta
baby.
pick a struggle. So, let's go, to the next thing here.
Scroll back down. I
Here
like that. Go back, 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 back.
the bad
You,
news? It's just the
yeah.
same thing.
Oh, okay, okay. Just making sure.
Yeah, it's just a bad thing.
People later gonna be like, I didn't see it. I gotta see this
Oh, I'm
thing.
sorry, everybody. Yeah, because because it's kind of blurred the two together. So, yeah, the
Hmm.
bad news is you gotta pick a struggle. You can't have every issue. But there is money out there. There's about 8.5 billion a year on alternative lending.
Hmm.
There's about 250 billion a year on business bank loans. That's SBA and commercial loans. And there's about 23 billion a year on angel investing. And we haven't even talked
Ooh.
about equity crowdfunding yet, which is
Hmm.
another big industry that is forthcoming. I have a business partner who I've connected with Ericka, and hopefully we'll get a time together for her to come and talk about equity crowdfunding. $500 million last year.
Hmm.
And the private markets are going to be about $30 trillion in 2030. So, there's a lot of money circling out here. So
It's
let's talk
looking
about
for a home.
I'm
This money's out here looking for a home, y'all.
Yes. And one of the I read the in the Wall Street Journal earlier today that the venture capital firms used to do a lot of due diligence.
Mhm.
And now because there's so much circling, not money circling, not only from venture capitalists, but from private investors and these family offices. We got DJ the money coach coming in
Family offices.
talking about family offices and things like that, and more um, upper middle class people are starting to get into these family offices. It's not just wealthy people, and we're starting
Mhm.
to invest more and diversify more. That that these venture capitalists have noticed that their clout in the industry is going down because now you as the entrepreneur have all sorts
Mhm.
of ways of getting the capital that you're looking for, especially if you have a good idea.
Yeah, you ain't gotta kiss nobody butt.
Yeah,
You ain't
yeah,
gotta
it
jump
looks
through hoops.
yeah. If you have a good idea and you have a track record and you have a good team that can perform and turn a dollar into $20, there's money all over the place for you. So so let's talk about startups. So I have a connection, a really good guy named Justin that I work with on a lot of these. Um, he's able to do like lines of credit and credit card stacking and all sorts of alternative loans. He does require a 680 credit score, and the other two people that I've connected with also require a 680 credit score. But I recently worked with somebody who they brought on a credit partner,
Mhm.
and the way that Justin works is, let's say that you're the entrepreneur, you don't necessarily have the best credit. You can bring on a credit partner, and he has you sign like an operating agreement with the credit partner, but you could still be 100% in charge of your business. Um, and that way you are able to get the funding that you're looking for. So that's an option for you. Um, the one of the other great things about Justin and his program is that they check your personal credit. However, the credit cards are not on your personal credit. So it's like true business credit cards. So I'll say that again, Erica.
Mhm.
Um, they check your personal credit, but the credit cards are not on your personal credit.
So when people say, "Hey, man, I want credit cards," and
Mhm.
they say, "Man, I don't want it reporting to my credit, Sherry. I can't have nothing else on my credit." Do you hit them with that? Like, "Hey, baby, these don't
Yeah,
report."
yeah.
Right, right. And is it because is it because they don't want their score going down, or is it because they're trying to create a separation in
I think it's a little bit of both, you
Mhm.
know? I think that people are really trying to figure out how do I establish business credit? And look, for a long, long time, you will have to sign a personal guarantee.
We need your
There's
whole baby, we need your arm, we need a
yeah,
vial of blood.
yeah, like, look, if you don't pay these credit cards, they will still try to come after you personally. So
Look, yeah,
it's
who
yeah.
what's the big daddy? What's the gold one? American Express.
Oh, yeah, they're
Yeah.
vicious. So, but you can have a separation and you can, like, be able to do other things with your personal credit without these credit cards affecting your personal credit score. So I like that. Um, there's also a loan out there that goes against your IRA or your 401k. So let's say without the tax penalties. So let's say that you have a situation where you don't have a credit partner, you don't have a 680. I have another connection that if you have, I think it's $25,000 in your IRA or 401k, that they're able to help you loan against it without the tax penalties. So
Mhm.
what I do is just introductions to these individuals. You talk with them, and if you like the terms and all of that, then you can proceed forward. So
I'm
the
trying
other
to
thing, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay. And then the other thing is if neither one of those don't work for you, family and friends is the way to go. So now for that, you got to be able to know how to pitch your family and friends.
Mhm.
Tell them what your idea is, tell them how much money you're going to need, what you're going to use the money for, how the business is going to grow, what the business model is, and what the numbers are. And that's what I do, like with the business plan writing or writing executive summaries. I'm writing one right now for a company that is growing, and they're getting a cash infusion of $500,000. So, um, you know, you can do any of these things. These are like three options for people.
The big thing I want people to understand is you can get new friends. Like
Mhm.
I want to give a big like example. I got a text yesterday from a guy who met me at Meet Kevin 2019 Grant Cardone conference 10x. He literally was like, "Hey, I've been watching you for these years. I want to invest a certain amount. I just think you're so trustworthy. I've been following your track record." I'm like, "What? I haven't talked to you in it's been years."
Mhm.
But you never know who's watching, who's observing, watching a track record. And the best thing is he works for one of the number one solar power companies in California. So new friends, new events, conferences. Are you going to the 10X this year in Florida?
I never go to 10X. I like the
What?
old Grant Cardone. I'm sorry,
You
but
like the old where he had the black hair in his house doing the videos and
yeah,
super
yeah,
serious,
he's a little too, I don't
over the
know.
top now. He's a character
But
a little
I
bit.
but I am taking a page out of your book and actually doing just more networking, like
Hmm.
strategic networking and
Yeah.
strategic conferences this year, because I'm breaking into a few industries this year.
For sure. I was gonna
Um,
say, they be looking for funding down there now. It might be a good
Oh
one to
yeah,
go.
they
Yeah,
look
yeah.
for funding and just a lot of other stuff that I do as well. So somebody asked a great question in here.
Mhm.
Necessary Evil said, "I got stuck trying to get my DNB number. Don't worry about your DNB number for this purpose."
Yeah,
Mm,
80% of banks aren't caring about your DNB number.
Nope,
They care about
nope,
your Equifax and Experian partners. And if you
yeah,
watch this channel, or if you're new to this channel, nothing wrong with that. If you're new to this channel, I talk about nav.com a lot because of that. So
yeah.
again, 80% of banks ain't caring about that DNB. But go ahead.
Yeah, and and my people, Justin specifically, doesn't even look at that. They may do some reporting to the Equifax.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I don't know.
Mhm.
I haven't asked them that piece of it, but you don't need that in order to get in.
Mhm.
So, um, okay, so then let's talk. Next is if you're growing a business.
Right.
So, oops,
That's
there
okay.
are yeah, there we go. There are some ways you can get some fast application, do some fast applications and get some fast decisions with
Mhm.
alternative lenders. There are term loans that have, again, if you've been up and running, I would say about 3 years. There are
Mhm.
some term loans that you can get that are about 650 credit score, 7-year term. There's some lines of credit that's available. Again, some credit card stacking and that IRA or 401k loan if you still are credit challenged with the 650. You
Mhm.
can also go to family and friends at this point as well. Um, and if again you've been around for 3 years or more and you're not only making money but you're profitable, I cannot say this enough.
Yeah.
Stop trying to show like no profit every single year on your
Oh my
taxes.
god.
That affects your ability to get funding. Okay,
You know where
so
that comes
start
from? That
showing
comes from that
profit and
refund
just pay the
country.
tax bill. I'm sorry?
That comes from that refund culture. Like, I got a refund. I got a refund. It's like,
But you can't make big moves. You can't make big moves. So,
yeah.
one of the best things that I can suggest to people is if you are really like you're trying to grow, $1 million plus business,
Mhm.
start reporting a profit.
Mhm.
Because the banks look at that. And one of the reasons I knew somebody who couldn't get a loan because she showed a loss every single year. She only showed that she made $7,000 a year on her,
Why?
and she was making probably high, close to $100,000 a year. But in her business,
Why?
she just kept showing she was making 7,000 because she didn't want to pay the taxes, and that affected her
Ugh.
when it was ready. She was ready to make a move in her
Can't buy a
business.
car. You can't not no 7K income. You can't buy no car. You can't buy no house. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get I mean, I get it, but I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, my tax bill is about 10% of what
Mhm.
I make, and I just eat that as the cost of doing business because when I'm ready to
For the
grow.
freedom.
Mhm. Yeah, and a lot of people couldn't get PPP loans, they couldn't get
Oh my
EIDL
god,
loans
yes.
because they were not showing
Showing up.
taxes Yeah, they were
Look,
not
Ace
showing
said
that.
no bankable income.
Yeah, yeah.
It's sad too because there were actual businesses who could have like
Mhm.
gotten 300,000, 200,000, 400,000, and they make money, but it's
Mhm.
that write it off culture. So
Yeah. And a couple of the friends that I know that got money, I'm like, "How did you get that much money?" When I tell you the SBA was giving away stupid amounts of money,
honey,
there were a couple of people I'm like, "You got that much money?" And they're like, "Yep."
listen, and they were quick with the forgival too. I was like, okay.
Yes.
I was
Yes.
like, I was like, all my companies. And I actually I worked through a specialist. I didn't even I just, I provided the bank statements, I provided the QuickBooks, and it was like,
Mhm.
so yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, um, and then don't forget to keep some friends close, those private investors, those angel investors. I know a woman who is building these retail. Um, oh, they're like kiosk, and
Mhm.
it's meant to do data. Like every time someone passes a store or something like that, it keeps
Oh,
information. And she started off. Her name is Dawn Dixon. If anyone's interested in
Dawn
hearing.
Dixon.
Yes, she's, done quite a few, interviews with
Mhm.
regards to, raising $1,000,000. It's only been, like, about 50 Black women who've ever raised $1,000,000 or more, through private investment, and, she talks through, like, the years she spent cultivating relationships so that
Mhm.
when she was ready to raise that money, she had over subscribed. She had more people wanting to give her money than she could have taken.
Mhm.
So, yeah. Uh, next thing, my favorite buying businesses, y'all. This year, actually, I'm gonna be able to, buy a
Hey,
minority stake in a business, so, there's a whole lot of businesses out there. Thank you, thank you. Look, this
seriously.
is this is my E. Williams coming out here. So, yeah, so with buying businesses, there are bigger deals, there are smaller deals. They call them micro business loans. For the bigger deals, you're probably going to go through the SBA with or without some owner financing. Again, with the SBA, you don't go directly to the SBA. You
Mhm.
have to go to a bank. The bank approves your loan, and then the bank goes to the SBA um, for what's called a guarantee. So I've worked on business plans. Now, for the SBA loan, for most banks, you do require a business plan. So that's where I come in. I have a couple of bankers that ask me to write business plans for their clients. Um, and I've worked recently with a company that was buying an appliance business where they sell appliances and repair them for $4 million. I've worked with a couple of other businesses last year that was buying, people were buying businesses. Y'all, our immigrants are doing this in big numbers and they're
Mhm.
really working the system. So I definitely
Wait,
suggest.
slow it,
Mhm.
and say it again, just because sometimes people hear it and then they don't hear it, and
Okay.
I want them to understand that money's moving out in this economy.
Yes, millions of dollars. So,
Mhm.
of the, I'm specifically thinking of three that I've done in the past since September.
Mhm.
All 3 of them were immigrants, and
Mhm.
it was all, like, one was 1.1 million, one was 2 point something million, and one was $4 million, of a business that they were purchasing,
Mhm.
and all they have to do is purchase it, the bank loved it, take it over, grow it 10% every year after that. They didn't have to do anything crazy with the numbers. They were all profitable businesses.
Listen, y'all, Imma tell y'all, back in my town, um, our Korean friend's mom wanted to sell my mom her laundromat, her, like, cleaning company, like, the press where you press the clothes, and in
Mhm,
the end, she's like, "Oh, I can't, because I got a private money loan from this group, so I gotta give them first rights to buy."
mhm.
And, I mean, it's trust me, money moves around. M. Sway said, "I just got my 124,000 EIDL loan about 4 weeks ago.
I
Took
see
about
that.
5 months of going back and forth with my taxes on my rentals." M. Sway, congratulations. If you have not noticed, ever since they passed that infrastructure bill, SBA been harassing you like, hey, get this 10,000 advance. If you didn't get your advance last time, you're like, chill out, SBA, I don't want it. So they have to. They're very shocked at why they couldn't get rid of all their EIDL money. Did you notice that they just were shocked that so many people didn't have great credit? They were like, 100 million Americans have less than 100 620 credit score.
I'm not
They were
surprised.
they were just absolutely shocked. And I said, you get to a point in business where I know people who could care less what their credit score is because they've
Hmm.
already got their house, their business is running, but
Yeah,
usually they use their business credit cards for stuff. So if the score isn't perfect, they don't obsess over it. It's people just trying to get into the game that obsess about the score. When you got to realize, like, you can have a poor score, but if you can show a business making money, somebody gonna work with you.
that's
So,
true. That's true. I know. So I bought my house after, obviously, after I had been in business. I did have to
hmm
put down a larger sum of money
yeah,
in order to buy my house. Fortunately, I had that, but yeah, like I didn't have at the time. I had okay credit, but I didn't have the best. So,
hmm
um, but yeah, if you got to pick a
get your foot
struggle,
in the
like we
door.
always say, pick a struggle.
Pick a struggle, babe. Listen, I
Yeah.
mean, at the end of the day, if you that was part of why I had the guy on before. Like, people can start a cleaning company and run it up to 20K and not fairly forever. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
and now that you've got that money up, now banks are like, well, you're showing a track record, you're consistent, you got enough staff, you're gonna get more with that than
Yeah.
a daydream. So,
Yeah, I
Sherry,
have,
go
my
ahead.
mother has a client. My mother's a bookkeeper, and she has a
hmm
client that's in the cleaning business, and, they were doing very well. They have
hmm
all sorts of contracts with buildings and stuff like that, and then through, C-19 is what I call it. I don't know if they're allowing
Yeah,
us to say the
pandemic.
word. The
We
what?
make up words every day. Pandemic,
Pandemic, yes. Through the
paneasy.
pandemic, the owner went and he got an additional certification to do, like, the medical cleaning,
Mhm,
uh, you know, um, and and he was able to get so many additional contracts because he had whatever that additional certification was. And it wasn't just like in medical spaces, like
mhm,
regular companies were hiring him because they needed super clean
mhm.
facilities, just to bring the people back to work. So yeah, look, there's a ton of money out there. So
I like it, I like it.
yeah.
Your mom's a
So
bookkeeper?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's nice.
She's been a bookkeeper, about 20 years now.
I
Um,
Only reason I say that because I think of Todd Millie. Todd Millie's mom's also a CPA. She looked 35, but she looking young, but she a CPA. I was like,
yeah,
"Okay, yeah."
yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah, Charles's mom is very impressive. So my mother's not a CPA though, she's a bookkeeper, but when
Mhm.
you talked about the
You still
QuickBooks
making
thing.
money. Yeah.
Yeah, you talked about she makes, yeah,
Thanks.
she's like one of the top tier bookkeepers, but, to the point where you had talked about, QuickBooks, uh, wanting people, like, trying to recruit people years ago in order to start, with the demand, right?
Mhm.
And, I was telling her about that, and she said, "Yeah, they reached out to me and asked me if I would be a teacher and
Yep.
train other bookkeepers because
Love
she
it.
was like one of the top QuickBooks,
Mhm.
bookkeeper. She said she turned them down because she don't have that kind of patience. But
It's
I thought
hey, know your
yeah.
limits. Know your
Mhm.
limits.
Yeah, but they were trying to get local bookkeepers all over the place in the late 2000s to start teaching people. So but anyway, there's also alternative lending, especially
Mhm.
for micro businesses. If you're looking for 150,000 or less, let's say you buy a little website or something like that. There's all sorts of ways for you to get money, small amounts of money for those deals as well. So next is real estate. There's hard money that's out there for people with regards
Mhm.
to real estate. I do have a source with regards to that, but I will say this, one of the best places you could go for a source is in your local area, your local RIA, um, real estate investment group,
Mhm.
agent association, yeah, RIA.
Mhm.
However, if you need someone who's national, if you just want a second opinion or a second bid or something like that, then I do have a connection with regards to a hard money lender that lends in 46 states. So you
46 states.
yeah, 46 states. So you're able to check on that as well. So y'all can call me. I'm going to put my number up. And Erica, I'm sure will make me keep it up for the broadcast here.
Listen, every
Uh,
time y'all come on, y'all be taking it. They're like, I didn't get to see it. I'll be like, calm down.
yeah.
I will
So
get
I'll
it.
keep it up this time though. So next is, let's say you grow in the big business. You're gonna be like Todd Billionaire, right? You're gonna be like
Mm-hmm.
Charles Oglesby or Andre C. Hatchett or something like that. You
Mm-hmm.
grow in a big business. It's going to be slow approval process, but you're going to probably need a seed round, a Series A, a Series B. These are fancy terms for just multiple rounds of funding. I write business plans. I help people formulate their business story, put together their financials, be able to answer those tough questions that the investors are going to ask, etc. Tell you certain things to watch out for with regards to pitching your business and getting a private investor, all sorts of stuff like that. So y'all can reach out to me for that as well if you're looking for that. Now let's talk about my announcement and these business grants.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for a business grant, put a one in the chat. I'm going to come here to
Put a
um,
one in the
put a
chat.
one in the chat if you were looking for these business grants. And I'm sure the ones are going to start coming through.
It takes a
So I think
30-second delay. So
there's
go
a
ahead.
delay. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to see them now. Okay. All right. So let's talk about these grants. So, um, grants, there are a lot of grants out there. Playing the grant game, though, does take some strategy, but it also takes knowing what grants are available. So recently, with the rise of the 20% um, group and the digital real estate group, and just some connections that I had made and been cultivating, etc., I realized that I know people who have access to um, um, at least $100 billion of grants. Not all of them are available at the same time. Some of them are um, for certain ethnicities, certain genders. Some of them, are for certain periods of time, their business plan pitch competitions, etc. So I have started working on the best, most comprehensive business grant and free business money that's available out there on the marketplace. If you would like access to this, because I'm going to do a focus group in probably late February, put a two in the chat. Put a two in the chat because I'm doing a little market survey here as well. If you would even want to see something like this, let me know because I don't want to work on something that people don't really want to see. Okay, so people are saying, yeah, I'm seeing the two. So that's going to be my big thing is, you know, is I was actually contacting a guy today who uh, has a list of $60 billion just for Black America since George Floyd died last year. $60 billion has been pledged to Black America, yet nobody has the comprehensive list of this money except this guy, right? And he was putting it together for a research project to talk about some other aspect of this. And I'm like, no, 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 I need that list. Um, so I got the connect, and my whole goal is to be able to put it out there, for the community. So um, but I will say a couple of things about grants. Number one is the more the grant is promoted, the harder it is to get. Why? Because you're going to have a lot of competition. I know some people who, you know, who got like there's little obscure grants that are out there that only four people applied for, and they got it, and they got a $10,000 check, right? So one of the things is you finding those hidden sources of money that's out there. Um, and then the truth is, right now, you're going to have to network in order to get grants as well in order to meet people. But then with my directory, which is going to be updated every day, it's going to like continuously give you like, hey, this grant just hit. Hey, this business plan pitch competition just hit. And you're going to be able to select the ones that you want to pursue. So that's what I'm working on right now. Um, yeah, we're here making fast money moves, get your investor network together. Uh, Andre Hatchett said during our session in DC, the Classy Climb Tour session, he said that all of us should have an investor network, that if we needed $100,000 because an opportunity came up, that we could like literally call 10 people, get $10,000 each. So we got to be friends with people who have money, and we also have to be the friend who has money as well, right? So that way this money can circulate. I'm not the hugest fan of Damon Dash, but I know that that was one of the things he said he was trying to do back in the day. He wanted to have this network of rappers that when opportunities arose, whether they needed some marketing assistance for their albums or things like that, they could go to each other and they could raise $1 million just like that. We as people, and I'm just talking Black people, I'm just talking classy climbers, period. We as people need to start developing these networks where we're able to, raise money and go after opportunities, because the opportunities are just going to get better and better, in my opinion, over the next decade or two. Um, so, yeah, so funding is competitive. You need to become the entrepreneur that people want to give money to. You need to be that person that people are like, yeah, if such and such a person has something and they say it's good, I'm still gonna verify. I'm gonna verify what they're talking about. But if they call my number and say, or they text me and say, hey, I've got something you should take a look at, I'm definitely going to take a look at it, because they usually come to me with good stuff. So, funding is competitive, but you need to be that person that everybody wants to give money to. That's it. I love money. I love talking about money. I talk about all things business plans and business funding. Yes, that is my real phone number. A couple of people said
Blow
that they
this
were
phone
surprised when
up.
I texted them back. They thought it was going to be an Autobot. It's not. And the only reason it's not an Autobot is just because I haven't had time to set one up. So,
Y'all,
my real phone number is on the internet.
I'm literally I'm literally screenshotting this and putting it. It's gonna be on the community tab because y'all be wilding. Y'all be like, I didn't see it. You be like, you did see that number. Part of what you just said, what you guys understand, people claim to the Classy Climb tour, met in person, and started a business together and bought a Airbnb rental. People came to the Classy Climb tour and then went off and partnered in business and did a mastermind.
Mhm.
Um, when I was in my class the other day, our Rise of 20% class, literally people said, hey, let's go to Fort Lauderdale and do a little mini mastermind. 7 people were like, okay, I'm ready. So I'm looking for a space to house us. Everybody in my classes are actually doing it. They're buying businesses, they're growing their businesses. Like they don't even need me to do it. They don't need me to be the middleman. They be in there meeting each other. And that's what I want. I want a sea of people meeting each other, talking to each other, growing each other. Terry, the electrician, and Rochelle, they killing it. And they already doing podcasts, they doing all of the
Mhm.
stuff. I'm very
I'm so
proud of
proud
everybody.
of them. I actually talked to Terry. Terry is coming to my my podcast, my group, the 10K Project,
Hmm.
to talk about this whole thing of Black men losing out on $50 billion a year due to their unemployment. I'm
Hmm.
sure you've read that article if you've heard about it. So, you know, but I'm here to talk about practical solutions with that too. So, I feel like this group, like you, are the conduit for all of us like-minded people to get together. Um, no matter
And
what color we are, whatever,
yeah.
we're just focused on getting things done. And we need that, because there was a time when if that person wasn't in your physical vicinity,
Hmm.
then you were stuck. or you had to move. And sometimes we still just need to move physically. But
Yes.
this internet, this like you call it this man's internet,
This man.
you can be on your iPhone, your Android, your laptop, whatever, and you can connect with like-minded people. There's no excuse for us not to have the shift that we need in our lives, in my opinion.
Listen, I'm gonna
Um,
tell y'all like this. I was on a I was in a mastermind call with a bunch of YouTubers who don't have huge numbers. They all have under 100,000 subscribers. Some are have less than 80,000 subscribers. Every single one of those people in that group are making 40 to $85,000 a month off YouTube. So when people say, "Oh, I can't make any money because I don't have subscribers," you're not providing value.
mhm.
Because if you're providing value in your connection, which right now Cheree is middleman to millions, 1,000%. Call this number, she gonna get you connected. That right there is how you make $100,000 a year plus. You know what I mean? It's just being of value. And so if
Yeah,
somebody's out here on YouTube saying, "I'm not making any money," they're not being of value, or they don't
that's
know how to
true.
pursue the value in the right way. Because I typed in Cheree, the business plan writer, and it popped up in my SEO tags ASAP. So again, you've been working hard. AC Music said, "Is there a website?"
Yeah. Writemybusinessplan.com. I'll throw it in the chat here.
Mhm.
And I actually have samples on my website of business plans if you all need to see that. That's one of the other things I did in 20, like I really did like up my game in 2021, you know. So so there are samples on my business plans on the website as well now. So yeah.
Look. See, got it. Just Google what Erica said. Boom. Sherry, the business plan
Hmm.
writer, comes up. She's working her butt off.
I am. So, and you know what? You talk about making a lot of money without a lot of subscribers. I
Mhm.
have 3,000 subscribers on my YouTube. I only talk about business plans, so
Yep.
it's like a sporadic video. Like when in 2016,
Mhm.
2017, I did a lot of them. And I get calls pretty much every day. I saw you on YouTube. And I'm telling you, like videos from like 3, 4 years ago. So depending on the topic that you have, like I have an obscure topic that when people need it, they need it. And, you know, and they type in business plans for cannabis companies or business plans for like I wrote, so I'll tell everybody like how I did it. And you know, forgive me, Erica, if this is going into your YouTube class, but
No. You're
um
fine. Or I have no class tonight. Tonight is Erica's recovering from swimming.
okay. No. I meant like your YouTube class content. I didn't want to like step on any toes. So
You're good. You're
what
good.
I did was, so since I'm a business plan writer, I thought at every industry that people either would come to me for or do come to me for, and I wrote down that list. It ended up being, I don't know, about 25 to 30 industries. And then every week I did business plans for industry one, let's say, you know, cannabis companies, soap making companies, you know, e-commerce companies, etc. I still make money off of those old videos. Somebody will call me every once in a while. Someone puts a comment in one. I'm like, oh my God. And like, I'm like the queen of different hairstyles. So I'll see one. I'm like, oh, yeah, that hairstyle was like 4 years ago. but
Hey.
but it works. So what Erica is saying about not necessarily having the most numbers, it depends on your topic, you know.
Hmm. You
Yeah.
literally, y'all think I'm joking. If y'all can see some of these people's channels, I mean, there's one girl who does like remote work on
Mhm,
repeat. And yes, she gets a lot of views, but she don't have a lot of subscribers, right?
mhm.
Because people usually are looking for a job. They're just hopping in and out of different videos. Trust me,
Yeah,
people are making the numbers.
yeah,
If
yeah,
you're consistent and you make it, they know what they're getting when they watch you. Y'all just it's possible.
yeah.
But yeah, I like it. I like it. So, what's your big goal for 2022? If you can share it with us, how many people do you want to help this year get business funding?
Oh my goodness. I wanna help, I hadn't thought about it exactly like that, but
Uh oh.
my
Uh
big so my big goal though is to help, 1,000 business owners get $1 billion in funding. That's like my super
oh. Hmm.
huge goal. So yeah, I mean, look, if I could help $100 million, like help people fund 100 million this year, Yeah.
Okay, so I need you with some more conviction for my New Year's resolution, folks. Listen, Sherry's gonna help 1,000 people get at least $1 million this year.
Yeah. That's right. That's that look, that's so if you want to be in that number, then you need to call my number on the screen. That's right.
I
So
like
one of
it.
the yeah, one of the things is I'm very ethical as well. If someone, in my opinion, doesn't need funding, like I've
Right.
had people call me and it's like, like, let's be real. All you need is some flyers and some shoe leather and go, then I will tell you that too. But if you do need funding, then I all I do is try to point you in the right direction, connect you with the right people, give you the right introduction, and um, and then follow up with you just to make sure that you have what you need. So
Because hey, truth with love.
yeah, yeah. So,
That's a real saying.
yeah.
Well, I'm sorry you're not going to be joining us in Florida for Grant Cardone's, but I
No.
probably will see you in DC as soon as at some point again.
Yeah, yeah. No, we'll definitely see each
'Cause
other.
I have
I
to go
know that.
see Malik and
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah. It's at some point. So I want to thank everybody for listening to me this evening, and y'all know I'm usually in the chat whenever I can catch Erica live. So yeah, y'all have questions, just let me know.
For sure, for sure. Don't hang up. When we close out, I'm gonna
Okay.
talk to you for a second. All right, everybody. This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Listen, Sherry came out here, told you what you needed to hear. Do you want the funding for your business? Listen, get on that phone call, text her, ask her, blow her phone up, hit the like button when you leave here. And Sherry, where can they find you on the internet other than this phone number?
You can find me at writemybusinessplan.com. That's my website. I'm also Cherie, the business plan writer, on this YouTube here.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever y'all see me in the chat, or you can go to my channel and subscribe and watch a video or two.
I
Those are
love
the
it.
best way. And I'm also on LinkedIn. So I play on YouTube, LinkedIn, and my website, and that's it.
I love it. I love it. Someone said, "Yes, you are amazing, Sherry."
Thank
Someone said, "Thank
you.
you for all the information. Thank you.
That's
Thank you for the
You're
info."
welcome. Thank you.
All right, you guys. This is your girl Erica, Classy Climb Blog. Later.